Welcome to Captain Morgan's Wargaming. I am part of the Editchbeer 40K's Unification Wargamers group, which can be found on Facebook. I'll put a link in the description below. The first step to attending a tournament is paying for it. The next step is building a list, and this video is part 2 of a tactical series on this building. In this video I will go through how I build a list for a tournament. I will do this using a local tournament I'm going to pack, competition pack. Right, it had some rules before I get down to this build. All models have to be WYSIWYG. 2K match models, match play. You can take up to 3 detachments. You can take specialist detachments. Full world allowed except Horus Heresy. No more than 3 on the same date sheet. No more than 3 units with flyer. Battlefield role can be taken. No other strength units can be taken. All detachments must share one faction keyword. So Chaos, Imperium, Eldari. Units with underlined faction can be taken in any detachment. And army detachments that contain sub-factions like Leviathan alongside Behemoth must be clearly marked. And all the tactical objectives are averaged. Now the missions for this are vital intelligence, visions of victory, 4 pillars, strategic gamble, beachhead. Right, so if vital intelligence is an eternal war mission, there is no sudden death in play. And it's the one where you've got 4 halfway along from the corner to the centre of the board, and 1 in the centre of the board, so it looks like a number 5. And at the start of each round, the player who has first turn rolls a d6, and on the whatever is rolled is the active objective. So if it's 1 to 5, it's 1 over 5. If it's 6, all of the objectives are active. Now you score points at the end of each battle round, and that is 1 point for an objective. If it's an active objective, it's worth 2 points. You get Slave of Warlord, first strike, which is the first destroyer unit in the first turn, and Slave of Warlord and Line Breaker. And as I said, with no sudden death, it means that if you're white, you keep the points you score. And there is a maximum here of 10 points a round, so you could be up to 50 points if you roll a 6 every round. Could be a minimum of 10, so you got a big squid, 10 to 50. So a maximum score would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 42, 43. Maximum of a minimum of 45 points up for grab. So you're probably looking anywhere between 15 and 20 points winning the game. Probably 23 points would win you the game. It's five rounds, five rounds in the game, and then you roll if you've got time to do the extra rounds. Then you go on to Visions of Victory, which is a maelstrom. You remove the 6 cards at the stop, and again it's no sudden death in play. So in this I would probably look at removing the defends. Look at if my opponent's got anything with over 10 wounds. If not, remove Big Game Hunter. Does it have a flyer? Remove it. If it doesn't have any flyer, also psychers, remove it if he has no psychers. And then you must generate 4 tactical objectives at each turn, and for every objective you generate, you generate 2 every time one is generated. So, and then your opponent decides which cards objectives you keep and have to try and score. So it's quite tactical. You're going to try and make your opponent score less a turn. And he's going to be trying to do the same to you. However, very clever picking. If you pick cleverly, you can make it impossible for your opponent to score for a couple of turns. Get lucky and build your score up yourself, and it will be then you've got to Slave a Warlord, First Strike, Line Breaker and Low. And yeah, First Strike will Slave a Warlord and Line Breaker. Going free on day 1 is for 4 pillars. You score at the end of each battle round if you hold more objectives than your opponent. 1 victory point if you hold more, 3 victory points if you hold the 4. Again, it's the 4 halfway from the centre to the diagonal. You score more if you destroy more. You have Slave a Warlord, First Strike, Line Breaker. Then we go on to strategic gamble again, acceptable casualties, meaning no sudden death, and again remove this card, 6 cards at start. Generate 3 a turn. Start of a turn I can discard 2 cards and pull another one, but if I do I have to score that one by the end of the turn, and if I do score it by the end of the turn I score double points. So again, quite tactical. You might just go for scoring, and if it's a tight game towards the middle from round 3 onwards, you might try and outscore your opponent by taking that attack strategic gamble. Personally, I'd look at the cards I'm getting and think, do I just score try and outscore my opponent, and then force him into trying to catch up each round. But that will be in-game decisions, I believe. I mean, you can only do that in game. You also have Slave of Warlord, Fast Striker, and Line Breaker. So that's the missions. My thoughts on it. Well, quite simply, you're going to want an army wiping your opponent isn't necessarily going to win you the game. If you can do it quickly enough and you still have time left, then you've got a chance. The game goes on and you score points for each round after that. You get to round 3 and you've got to make up 10 points, and you've wiped your opponent. You've got 4 rounds to do, another four rounds to do that in, if possibly.
You got your spoon, or do you want me to go and get your spoon?
If you
Long one.
if you take longer than 3 rounds, you're going to struggle. To wipe your opponent, you're going to struggle if you're behind on points to make that up. So with that in mind, I would be going with lists to limit my opponent's scoring or to outscore them early on. I've built 2 lists. One's a necron list. I'm not a necron player. However, I think I've got a list that can do what I'm expecting to do. So I would have a flyer detachment with 3 doom size. I'd have a super heavy with a Seraptic construct in there.
Lots of milk in there. Is that like you swimming?
I've got a battalion detachment with Imatech, the Storm Lord, a Cryptek with Cloak, 8 Immortals, 5 Immortals, 5 Immortals, 3 fast attacks with Tomb Blades, 6 Tomb Blades, 6 Tomb Blades, and 6 Scarabs. Now, why? Because this gives me my 40, 20 percentage. So 200 points is scoring me points a turn. 40%, so roughly 800 points is taking out multi-wound units, and roughly 800 points is taking out 800 points is worth taking out troops, my opponent's scoring units. That's how I look at it. That's for the necrons. I'm not going to do it for every list, but that 40-20 formula works quite well. I'm going to do my orc one now. My orc one, I've got 3 battalions. The reason I've got 3 battalions in that is because it needs orcs are CP hungry. On the necrons I went Sortek Dynasty because you get a chance to re-farm command points. I did have one with 3 units of destroyers in as well, which works quite well. But that's a different, for a different time maybe. So my first detachment is an Evil Sons. It's got a big mech, and this is going to be the Dreadwar detachment. Big mech with shock attack gun. So I'm spending a command point already for the Dreadwar, but I'm gaining the super shock attack gun, which is 2d6 shots, heavy 2d6, strength 2d6, and minus 5d6. Now, the beauty of this is if I roll an 11 plus on the strength, which is always worth re-rolling if you get a 6 on one of the dice. If you roll 11 plus, each successful hit causes D3 mortal wounds. Okay, it's you're only hitting on 5s, but 6s cause extra hits, so you're hoping that you roll big on that. And there's a stratagem that allows you to shoot again there for 2 command points from that detachment, and you can make that choice at any point during the shooting phase, so it's not done at the start. So that's the first HQ. Then I've got a weird boy. Then I go into my troops. I've got 30 boys with 29 boys and a knob, all with slugger and choppers, and I've got 3 tank buster bombs in that one. 29 boys, sluggers and choppers, and a boss knob with slugger chopper. I'm just keeping it bare bones because that's all, and I'm taking the 3 tank buster bombs again. Then I've got 10 boys, 1 tank buster bomb, 1 knob, 9 boys and 1 knob, same look as the rest. Then I've got a pain boy for that. And then my second detachment, also Evil Sons, it contains a big mech in mega armour. He's my warlord. He's going to have Dread War. What's his warlord trait? I think his warlord trait was the brutal but cunning. We will follow me, lads. It gives him breaking heads and war ability, and I just think that's going to be useful. He has a custom force field, just to use the force field. (18-inch range one) to give them the involved saves. Units around him in the involved saves. He's going to have another weird boy. Then I'm going to have a unit of 20 boys, a unit of 17 Gretchen and a unit of 10 Gretchen. They're going to soak up some shots, possibly make my opponent use up command points if they got vect and stuff as quickly as I can. And then I've got a 3rd detachment, that's Bad Moons, and that is headed by Captain Budrup, and a weird boy. And then I've got a unit of 30 Gretchen, a unit of 10 Gretchen, a unit of 10 Gretchen, a pain boy, and then I've got 15 looters, 10 looters, and 6 looters. Of course, that might change with the FAQ, and the looters get the nerf, which I wouldn't be surprised at. And then that will change slightly to accommodate those changes. But with the orc list, it's about saying to my opponent, I'm going to hold more, I'm going to kill more. So on the mission, I'm going to outscore you. You have to come away, find a way of dealing with that. The necron list is slightly different in that it says I'm going to come after you and cause you problems and be in your face and stop you gaining the board control you want to win the game. You overcome that. That's the basis of both lists. Both lists have the 40-40, 20, even though the Orcs list it seems it doesn't, but with the looters going to have Daka, and more Daka on them, and then showing off on one of them, I'm going to have more than enough shots and wounds going through to a target to hurt it. Even if it's multi-wound. And if it's a similar horde, I'm going to go through the horde quite quickly. That's it. I don't think there's anything else to add. I can do one for the 1,000 Suns. I'd probably pretty much take what I've taken already, because that's designed to wipe in about 2 to 3 turns. So I would then have 2 to 3 turns to outscore my opponent. Space Marines, be honest, I think I'd have to go Ultramarines, and it would have to be a mixture of bits, and maybe chuck a knight in there to ally. Space Wolves are probably in the worst place codex wise, and the worst codex out there. Craft World Elder, I could build a list probably with Guardians and Dark Reapers and Shining Spears, and have a list there to outscore my opponent and cause him problems, and do enough to bear. Eldar is always strong as usual. Could make it Yanari to get the their little trick of shooting, moving, or something again. I have a demon codex, so I could make a demons go with my 1,000 Suns list. But again, that probably would I'd probably drown it in horrors just to soak up ball control and make my opponent outscore me, and if he couldn't, then I'd win the game just like that. But it's not about that. As I said, I always use that formula: 40-40-20. 40% going towards wiping out my opponent's heavy, 40% going to wiping out my opponent's troops and single wound models, and then 20% going to scoring me points. In this game, I'm scoring points for holding objectives, and that's troops in this case. And one of the games is holding more, killing more. So I could be racking up points that way. I am going to be taking the Orcs to this year's tournament, and through all my tournaments this year. I might change the build slightly for each tournament, but I might not. I've got a plan for a Speed Freaks Orc list, which contains a Death Killer War Trike, the Squigbot, the Mega Jet, Scrap Jet tracks, Biker Boys and Deathcopters. I've just got to see if I can make that work, and I might have a battalion in there of just Gretchen, so that I can get the command points, so I can use. But a lot of that army is just about being in my opponent's face turn one and charging and getting multiple charges off and being in their lines in turn one, and wiping them as fast as I can. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please hit the share button, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay up to date with the notifications. And remember, everybody knows the dice are low.